Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. You see the thumbnail. Revamped O-line. Got to put a question mark next to it. I'm loving the moves that Joe Schoen has made. He made some good signings addressing the offensive line. But how revamped is it really? I will say this. I think the guys that we picked up on the offensive line are definitely better than what we had, whether they're considered depth pieces, whether they're considered guys that you pencil in as a starter. I do think it's better than what we have currently or had, last year. But there's still some guys in some positions that you can improve on. And just talking about some of the guys that we were able to pick up. First guy on the list, not the first guy signed, but the first guy on the list for me, because I think he's actually a guy that you can pencil in as a starter, is Jermaine Lumor. Shout out to New Jersey. Just found out that he was from New Jersey. Makes sense because he was all giddy on social media about being able to sign with the Giants. So I wonder if he grew up a fan of the New York Giants. Morris Knowles High School, I believe it was. So shout out to him. Jersey is in the building. Jermaine Lumor, and also shout out to Bobby Skinner. Bobby Skinner did the offensive line breakdowns, goes into details, gives you the pros, the cons, the good, bad, and the ugly. So go out and check out the videos Bobby Skinner put out on these new signings. But Jermaine Lumor, when I think about Jermaine Lumor, and I think about the guy that we had last year at right tackle, Evan Neal, when healthy, it's intriguing because are you saying that Jermaine Lumor is the starter going into the 2024 season? And for me, I'm like, yeah, let's stop playing around. Let's go ahead and move Evan Neal inside and let Jermaine Lumor, have those duties. Now, Jermaine Lumor is 29 years old, got a 2-year contract, so he's not really the long-term answer. But in the short term, is he a guy that you can bring in if Evan Neal has the correct mind state? It's not just about competition. This guy's not coming to take my job. Can I learn from this guy? Can I learn from this veteran who had some good years, who is a solid player? Can I learn from this guy and take what I learned from him and, help make myself better? That's the situation. Is Evan Neal mature enough to see it that way? We'll find out. But again, if it's going to be a competition at right tackle between Evan Neal and Jermaine Lumor, it's all about Evan Neal. Can you beat out Jermaine Lumor? He'll get that chance. I believe he'll get that chance. Most likely he'll get that chance. But the second that people see this, if he doesn't improve, Evan Neal, they're going to quickly move. The leash is super short for Evan Neal. If Evan Neal proves again that he cannot be the answer at right tackle, then you see Jermaine Lumor absolutely in there. And I don't think it'll take long. Will the battle go into training camp? I think absolutely. I'll be surprised if it went any other way. But once you get through the preseason, and these guys should absolutely play in the preseason. No reason to be sitting off the offensive line when we haven't earned the right to sit our offensive line. That should be a battle that you see in camp all the way through the preseason, and come week one, hopefully a week before week one, we'll know, who the starter is there. Now, what that does for Evan Neal is this: if he does lose out and he's playing strictly right tackle, what happens from there? Does he automatically become the swing tackle, or do you kick him inside? That's the question. And right off the bat, when I'm first thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, you just move Evan Neal inside. Well, here comes Jon Runyan that we also picked up, played right guard, picked left guard, mainly a right guard, or more recently a right guard. Do you want to change his strength? And when you're talking about penciling guys as a starter, the money that we paid Jon Runyan, to me, pencils him in as a starter. Now, will that be the right guard or left guard? That's up to what the coaches think. In the presser that he had, he said he prefers left guard, but more recently he has played right guard. So there's some diversity there, I guess, or versatility is the word. I'm sorry, there's some versatility there. You have options. when it comes to John Runyon of where you or what side you want to play him. Next, we have the Austin Schlottman, center that we picked up from Minnesota, 6'6", 300. So he's kind of on the tall side for a center, but he has some quality snaps at center. You needed a quality backup. You lost Ben Bredesen to free agency. I think he went to Tampa Bay. I think it was Tampa Bay that he went to. I don't remember for sure where he went, but you got Ben Bredesen that left. He was probably going to be, your swing guard, possible option as a starting guard, backup center. Now you have Schlottman, who is a full-time center, backing up JMS. I don't think he threatens JMS at all, even though JMS did not have the season that I wanted him to have. You saw the growth potential. You saw the potential. I think he has the ability to grow into, a solid center, starting center, for years to come. But to get a quality center behind him as a backup helps him to, same way with Evan Neal. Can you learn anything from this guy? And do you have the maturity to take the lessons that somebody older can give you, a veteran? So for the most part, I do like these pickups. We had another guard that was picked up, guy from Tampa Bay, started a lot of games, Aaron Stinnie, right guard. So funny, when you look at it, left guard. Aaron Stinnie is a left guard. We picked up a left guard. We picked up a right guard. We picked up a right tackle. And what were the question marks going into the off season? We knew we had Andrew Thomas. We knew we had JMS, but we had question marks at guard and a question mark with Evan Neal at right tackle. And Joe Schoen has addressed all of those in free agency. Not fully addressed as far as, solidified for years to come, but the quick fix, the short-term fix, Joe Schoen went out and attacked things like that. Now, it does not stop you from drafting a guard if there's one in day 3 that you really like, or if there's another tackle that you like in day 3. I do think that these signings stop you from prioritizing the offensive line, let's say in the first round. Like, say if there was a slim chance of getting Alt or Fashanu or somebody like that, and then in the second round, if there's a guy like Jordan Morgan, or if a guy falls like Christian Haynes, it stops you from having to pick those guys in those rounds, and then you can focus more on the skill players that the Giants need, so much. But when I pulled up the projected starting lineup for the New York Giants going into 2024, with the guys that are currently on the roster, I went on Our Lads. Shout out to Our Lads. They always have, their opinions up there. They had our lineup as left tackle Andrew Thomas, of course, left guard Stinnie, center JMS, right guard John Runyon, right tackle Lumor. So they're already thinking that Lumor is going to be the starter over Evan Neal, rightfully so. And then you figure the 2 question marks at guard are filled with with the 2 free agents. I can't argue with that. It looks like it might be the best option, but the wild card is Evan Neal. The wild card is absolutely Evan Neal. Can he beat out Jermaine Lumor? And if he can beat out Jermaine Lumor, does that kick Lumor into guard? Because he has played guard before, but he is a right tackle. What happens? Does that turn Lumor into the swing tackle? I like that option over Tyree Phillips, over Matt Pert. I do like Lumor if he goes into that role. Also, does Evan Neal become the swing tackle? Again, this is your first round pick from 2 years ago, but here's the thing: you got to know when to fold them. You gotta know when to fold them. And if Evan Neal is not working out at right tackle, and then you try him in at guard and he's not working out at guard either, then he becomes a swing tackle in this situation. And then you think about the draft picks that we picked up, that we had already with Josh Ezeudu and Marcus McKeithen. And when you really think about that, it's just like Joshua Ezeudu, back-to-back season-ending injuries, 2 different ones. Still like the potential. I still think he has good feet. Played out of position because we drafted him to be a guard, but we ended up playing him at left tackle because of the Andrew Thomas injuries. I don't believe that he got a fair shake, but nothing in the world is fair. But Joshua Ezeudu, I think you still hold on to. Marcus McKeithen is a wild card. If you do not pick up another guard in the draft, are you satisfied with Marcus McKeithen being maybe the 9th or 10th lineman on your roster? we'll see what happens with that. But I do believe that we get at least one more offensive lineman in the draft. It just makes sense that way. But just a quick video talking about the offensive line. I do like the pickups. I think it addressed the need, and it helps you ultimately in the draft to go out there and focus more on the skilled players like your wide receivers, your cornerbacks. You know, if you want to go another edge, even though we picked up one defensive tackle, you know, it helps you with safety, of course. So now I'm looking at it, if I'm really going to be honest and looking at the draft, it's absolutely quarterback goes, you know, unsaid. But cornerback, wide receiver, safety, these are positions of need. They're at a skill level. And when I'm looking at pick 6 and then 47 and 70, you figure you need a cornerback, you need a safety, you know, you need a wide receiver, you know, in those picks, because that's where the most talent is when it comes to those positions. But that's going to be the video. Please let me know what you guys think about the signings. Again, I think it's good all overall, but not the long-term answer. But please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.